Friends, welcome back to the channel. In today, I am going to discuss about 2025. What I learned in 2025. It's how to make a weekly plan, how to think differently, what I learned, all stuffs. If new here, I'm Fahad, I'm writer and content creator. So let's dive into to review the 2025 and what I learned and how it's make difference, make how to live better, how to keep growing and keep progress. So it's all about, for me it's an unlock method which I'm very excited, and it's about writing things down. It's putting all thoughts and tasks onto paper. It's we hear like brain dump and all stuffs, and I'm trying to customize one template for me, and I'm very interested. I learned and I practice the bullet journal method, paired symbols with our thoughts and emotions and tasks, and dot for the tasks, and the uh, dashboard for the thoughts and information. We can pair it in, we can make our own symbols for jot it down and keep it our memories there. If it's emotions, if it's an information, if it's some bullet points and tasks, use symbols, saying what easy for our brains keep remembering the symbols paired with. It helps because of when we are overwhelmed and we are lots of lots and lots of information we are consuming, and we are like computers, 100 tabs at once, and the slow computer starts slowing down. And same like when our thoughts and when ideas come in our brain, when our task remembering thought loops in different loops of like open tabs and open all time, and we are someone like slowing down and not doing any task even. So learn about, when I realized that what I learned in past year is make a structure and make routine, and read the book The Tiny Habits, and and listen the author of Tiny Habits, and that's more makes sense. And also the research about and learn more about the book of bullet journal, and it's and figuring out what works for me. And it's all about in last year for me, to in, it's about cutting down the information which I consuming, that's for not help me. And like we are lots of lots of information when we are scroll and algorithm engineered for put in front of our mind and brain and our eyes new feeds new that relevant we feel novel and we are open it and just consume. But literally when we are in the end of the day going to reflect, there is nothing left because of we are in fragmenting the algorithm engineered for fragmenting our attention. We are not learn anything and we are spend lots and lots of hours for just for scrolling. It's all makes sense when put it down our thoughts and behaviors, and it's like control our decision, control our thoughts, control our behavior, and do the thing what matters. It's all about in one set. My journal start put it down Monday to Sunday, and 7 columns, and there is put it in what matters and what relevant if it's an appointment and it's a deadline and it's all kind of things when what where and feature log there is monthly calendar and put it in there, and first column used for index and the second column you can use for feature log, and the third one you can also use for like you can use for in third column you can use for your daily minutes journal and jot down use paired symbols, and that helps you to remember things. And like I'm using it's for a scaffold, it's for a second brain, and there is a one page for dedicated for open loops which I do want, which I sometimes use for delay and do it someday, and I want to while scrolling there is a relevant content I see, but there is not enough space time because of there is a must do in there is some deadlines I have that sometimes I make it, sometimes it's urgent I'm doing right now. It's not for me, it's not for me just now, but relevant for in another time. So I put it in someday list. Like, if I make sense because Zeigarnik loops, I call it in because there is all time open the loop. When it's finished, it's closed because if you are in scrolling and addicted to social medias, you may be find FOMO, fear of missing out kind of, and that's engineer the algorithm make all time to crave new things and novel things, and they want to be there all 24/7. So we don't like that. We are not computers, we are in spending time for with family for fun and must things do and flexible things, and we are in like something if you like me procrastinate and you are in some task which is avoiding this because the task is hard feel hard huge cast feel huge castle, and little bit that how to make a huge castle make sense if you are see huge castle and build that one, your brain says it's not, it's you just scroll and sit, continue there and scroll like that. If you are make it a tiny little pieces and bricks by bricks, the brain is feel easy and excited and feel fun to do, and that's make your brain make sense. And it's not hard, it's not a huge castle, you can do it. You teach your brain this kind of rewire your brain for doing things, little things, and jot it down, and beautiful memory, and you can file it and see what happened in last week, and see it in every Sunday review, what you did and what more often, less of, like kind of you can make I think it's very useful not to-do list, because you are committed to do the things you want to do. And sometimes we make, most of us, to-do list but feel overwhelmed. You can also make a don't to-do list, and it's what you want to less of, less scrolling, and you must do, and you should to do, and that is flexible. Must do is a deadline, and you want to do, you are passionate about, and that kind of for me it's writing a book and making contents like that in front. It should to do the urgent and bill and deadline kind of stuff, and must do is, sorry, means must do for urgent and deadline, and not avoiding tasks, doing right now. And there is should to do that, make schedule time for that, and mention that in one side my calendar, and one side I want to the weekly plan I do in for use, one side my journal, 2 pages in one side for my daily 7 days calendar, and the other side I use for remember things that week, and make time for example, like an example, and make time for how many times, just an example, how many times I use for spending time for sleep, and how many times spiritual, and if religious you go in mosque and pray, like kind of stuff. And you are, and your health, and jogging and walking and all stuffs, how make, and you are, if you like, and you meet a stranger in every day, because of we humans, we need connections, and we are not like computers, and we need human connection. Try every day and meet a stranger and ask, just asking what you can learn, like how the beautiful is the language we are. And for me it's my use, I'm using for my native languages for strangers, and I'm very excited to see and catch new friends and strangers and ask. It's, I think it's very fun and exciting. And so if you not yet subscribe the channel, please consider subscribe. This all about the routine and behaviors, and how the tiny changes make big impact, or reduce, how to it's reduce our stress and all. And that this channel all about, and how to live a person who are not overwhelmed and not depressed, and not his figuring out ways to more productive and do the things that matters, and do things like spending time with family and go outdoor and all make fun and feel good enough. So make sure you subscribe the channel. It's all about what makes sense, what I did, and what for me it makes sense and surprise. And I like the guy who are sharing, who are interested. So make sure subscribe and let me know comments down in the comment section, and summarize here what we learned is it's my journey. It's about I make my life. It's planning the week, and there is column for remembering things that week, because make time for what matters, like work. And if you student there is studying, and there is, and you want to do that you are your passion. And if you are an author and creator, and do kind of time for that, because it's more helpful for your overall well-being. So, and what avoiding that section is for me very important, what procrastinate, what avoiding, what dread. And it's like huge castle. It's not tiny breaks. Break down that things and spend time for it, make it more fun and more doable. And so at the end the brain is like to do, and writing things down, and that helps to reduce your overwhelming numbers of things you are holding your brain, and you are like computers slowing down because of 100 tabs at once. So that's it in today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy, and you get some insight, or you can apply in your life in 2026. So that's it. Thank you for watching.